with luck. It's saying it's streaming.
Yep, it is now.
Hello, welcome to the Flashing Bloke podcast.
Take two.
Again,
I control the horizontal. I control the vertical.
I'm Siobhan. Sweetly the voices decay. Draw on the lines that they say. I lost it once before. Anyway, that's Brian. That's a plucky girl assistant. He's called Brian. We say Moopsy when we see him. And that's a little bit the Wonder Girl, who I got around to introducing, but she froze. It was uncanny. It was, yes, action froze.
It's actually better because in our world, you froze.
Yes.
Oh, bless. Have a lolly.
Oh, yeah. If we could take screenshots of every time you freeze on this show
You could put them
and
together
just put them up online.
as a giant
yeah.
GIF.
Mhm.
I hate you so much. Anyway, a little bit.
Well, right,
It shows with that fucking audio thing.
right before you freeze, it goes like not great picture quality, so it looks like a third generation like VHS copy.
Am I a pirate?
Yes.
Hey,
Yeah.
that's cool. What do you get up to this week, a little bit?
Work mostly.
Work.
So, keeping busy. I'm about to have an avalanche of essays to grade.
Oh, I don't know how you got the patience to do that, quite frankly. I really don't. Now, I realised last week when I went back and had a quick check that my sound wasn't particularly brilliant. It was quite quiet. So I'm trying to do something about that, and I should imagine by now it will be deafening people, but we'll have to wait and see. Right. Brian, what do you get up to this week? Work, busy,
Work.
chop, bang, bang? Work.
No, just work.
You've never heard of work, busy, chop, bang, bang? You need to Google it.
No.
Please stop freezing because you're getting me worried. Just so, how is work?
I will as soon as you Google splorch.
No. Do not do that, people. That and balanitis. Just don't do it. How is the new job? Is it good?
I like it. It's not bad.
She said live on air, meaning he could get to... Yeah.
Only if they watch, which they do.
No,
if
nobody
they do.
watches
Hello.
this. We know that. Nobody at all.
I know a couple people that do.
What?
Yeah.
And I thought healthcare was just too expensive in the US.
You know, when they watch the mental breakdown that we go through every week, it tends to make them feel better about their lives.
Strange that, isn't it?
Funny.
Are we catharsis?
Oh, dear me. My week. Watergate. It's a saga. Everyone say hello, Thomas.
You're calling it Watergate now?
You that's what you came up with it last week. Memory, Brian. Remember memory? So I appear to have been run over by a cab. Well, the plumber came round at midday on Friday. It's supposed to be last Tuesday, but they rang up to say they haven't got the part. So
Of course not.
Came round on Friday. Spent the whole afternoon till gone 6 p.m. trying to sort this out. There was a problem. Sorted it out. Left the shower tray still in a disgusting mess. And in the meantime, decided to replace my bathroom sink and managed to knock the plinth for the old one over and smash it everywhere. However, my shower now works apparently, so, well, we'll see, basically. Hello, two viewers. Aside from that, it's been incredibly cool. I had 2 meetings this week, one with the Guinness residents and then one with the Guinness residents versus the Guinness Trust. Hello, Thomas.
Hi, Thomas.
And he wasn't there, bless him.
Smart man.
I like Thomas. I like him a lot. He occasionally if he's in the area and he's got enough time, he'll pop in for a cuppa and a catch up, just to see how things are. It's it's nice.
That's nice.
That is nice.
I have a tendency to people tend to like me sometimes, and then they eventually.
I can't imagine why.
No, then they eventually find out the reality. Who's meowing? That is Charlotte. Oh no, it's not.
Why
it's
is
Chestnut.
Charlotte meowing?
It's not. It's Chestnut. Mister, I've just come
Why
in
is
and I want
Chestnut
attention.
meowing?
He's come in and he wants attention. I should imagine before much longer we will get the moving void of doom. Yeah. News.
News?
News.
There's news?
Yeah.
Do we have a date yet for the David Tennant Doctor?
No, not yet.
No, we had a trailer for the trailer, didn't we?
They had a glitch during
Uh-huh.
a continuity announcement on BBC One where something goes quick hint of the Doctor Who logo and then again.
Yes.
Do you
A
like that
trailer
noise?
for a trailer.
So
Yeah.
that's good. That's great. Pretend to be shooting electricity. I don't get out much. Anyway, yeah. Mikey Arwood died now. That'll mean probably nothing much, certainly to you, Brian. I don't know if Dave ever got a chance to introduce you to the concept of Mikey Arwood. He was an impressionist.
I know the name.
From the 70s, mostly. And he was huge. He was getting 18, 20, 22 million audiences. Nowadays, he could whistle for that. Quite frankly, people are complaining. People are happy if they manage to get 6 million. And that's because, obviously, of the spread of all the different channels. Back then, there were 3 channels. BBC One, BBC Two, and ITV. Those were the days. But he died. It was very, very sad. Yes. I don't know what you've heard over in the States, but Russell Brand, it seems, has been a naughty boy.
I did read that story.
I did hear some of that.
Yeah. Let's not go there. I just thought we'll let people know that we are aware of this, but we're not touching that.
I'm barely aware of this.
I feel very sorry for the women involved, one way or the other. It's let's not avoid. I brought it up to avoid it, basically.
I really do think in a blanket good general policy is keep your hands, feet, and objects to yourself.
Yes, that's a very good philosophy. I like that.
Oh, I have a news update.
Oh yes, please, news. Yes,
it is now fall time in
autumn.
Central
You
New
mean
York.
autumn is autumning.
Yeah, it's fall time, and now we have apple cider
Excellent.
donuts.
Oh,
Those are nice.
that
Yes,
sounds disgusting.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
That sounds disgusting. Same with your bloody pumpkin spice. That's infected us
Okay.
over here.
I take no responsibility for pumpkin spice. I'm apple cider all the way.
Okay.
Tacos are more important than pumpkin spice.
I like pumpkin flavoring or pumpkin in certain things. Like pumpkin bread is phenomenal. Pumpkin muffins are really good.
Pumpkin pie.
Pumpkin pie. Yeah, I'm mediocre on pumpkin pie.
The upsetting Linus.
I'm sorry. He can enjoy it all he wants.
It's not
It's
that.
just not my
It's just
jam.
it's the great pumpkin, and
Yes.
you're talking about killing it and putting it in a pie.
Well, that's what pumpkins are for. But I'm much more.
You
I'm the-
mutilate it, you cut out its insides, and you carve it up as a warning to the others.
And have any root vegetables attacked you?
Yes.
It doesn't work then. So why are you doing it?
I'm just saying. Usually it's killer tomatoes that attack, but
Tomatoes,
you know.
but yes, okay.
But they're
Let's
fruit,
keep
not
connecting you.
vegetables.
It's terrible, and it's autumn, autumnums. All right, bloody fall.
It's not though. It was
Autumn.
95 degrees today.
Yeah, that's in America. It was about, mind you,
I'm
last
sitting at
week
70 as a high.
it was very,
this
very.
is fantastic.
Last week was very, very hot, but right now, it's there. You can feel it in the air. Autumn is there now, and it's It's my favourite time of year.
I have a
leading up to
donut.
Christmas.
Everything is fine.
Fair
I
enough.
bought myself a fancy marshmallow at the farmer's market.
If I wanted to, I could go and get myself a bowl of cornflakes. No? All right. Okay. I don't honestly know what else there is. Kevin Davies, Davies of this parish, has a book out. It's become a Times bestseller.
Yay!
It's called 42. It's basically, he's been given access to the Douglas Adams archive. And he's just presented all this stuff, in book format. And I'm going to see if I can get him on the show. However, it does mean trying to get hold of a copy of the book, so I can at least know what we're talking about. It'd be nice to have him back on the show. He used to present this thing back when he didn't realise how crap we were.
A lot of people are like that.
Poor Davies. So, yeah. Season 20's out.
Yeah, not over here yet.
No.
Well, actually, we're going to have some fun. You're going to like what we're about to do. Okay.
What are we going to do, Auntie?
Right, okay.
We're going to
That's
take
a
over
sugar
the
high.
world.
That's a sugar high talking.
Okay, right. So basically, my season 20 should be here. Well, it was saying the 23rd of September. It's now saying tonight before 10 o'clock. Now, slightly earlier, the dog got very suspicious about the front door. Ever since I've now got long frosted glass panels in the door, she can see bits of movement and it freaks her out and gets her growly and everything. So, she did that before. I'm going to go and look to see if someone had just left it there. Now then, before I go, who reckons it's there? Who reckons it doesn't? It isn't.
Well, the likelihood is delivery people don't often do what they say they're going to do.
Oh my God, this is Schrodinger's package.
It is. It's Schrodinger's package.
It's both delivered and not delivered at the same time unless observed by an outside force.
Does the dog count as an outside force?
Yeah,
if it was through a frosted glass pane.
Well,
dog reverse.
It just worries me, the whole idea of Schrodinger's package. But
this is the sugar high talk.
Sort him out a little bit.
Oh dear. I was
So
going to
how's
say
school?
School is school. We had testing last week, the first round of state testing. Hopefully we will have the results back early this week.
Come back to class?
Yes. Well,
why are they state testing like when the kids don't remember a damn thing?
In the infinite wisdom of our state government. Yes. Fascinating infinite wisdom. Last year, they changed the testing to go with the new standards. And instead of having a big test at the end of the year that we take all year to prepare for and do lots of, and it's not just one test. There were two main ones. One had 2 sessions, one had 3 sessions. And then there were several other ones, and then there were pinpoint ones throughout the year. So it isn't just one. They wanted to do a pre-em and a post. So you could see growth. So one early in the year, one mid-year, one the end of year. Any luck?
What did I get up for?
Package, front door?
Oh, no. No.
Dog lied to you.
No. It's, I don't think I will actually get it today. I think that was hopeful, optimistic on Amazon's part.
Well, they usually send you an email notification when they deliver.
Oh, it's Amazon who's delivering it?
Yes.
Then the odds are you might actually get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but where did I put my electric telephone?
As opposed to other carriers.
I don't think it's at the out for delivery stage yet. It's been dispatched.
You can track it on the app.
Yes, I have. That's what I'm saying. It's
okay.
And I'm looking at it and saying, right, delivery 10 p.m. 23rd.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, is it the 23rd?
No, it's
No.
17th.
17th.
No. Sorry, yes, there we go. Oh, God, I got Windows updates. You know what that means. And Yeah, so today by 10 p.m. And I'm looking at the thing, and it's not even in the out for delivery. Hasn't quite reached.
Oh yeah, no, then it's still at the warehouse.
Yeah,
no, it's not on the truck.
It's not even on the truck yet.
No, you're not getting it.
But
tonight,
I need to watch The Five Doctors yet again.
Why?
The Five Doctors.
Yeah, it is fun.
The Five. You need an excuse to watch The Five Doctors. Can I get any higher?
No.
Righty-ho. So I've got that to look forward to this week.
Yes.
No meetings. God, I'm going to be bored. Anyway.
How's your Baldur's Gate 3 going?
I haven't played it. It's been too hot to be sat here on the computer, and I'm afraid this week I've been having nothing but arthritis attacks every day. So it's a case of I'm not going to sit at the computer, I'm afraid.
We restarted again.
You see, I've been saying
I'm never getting off this goddamn nautiloid. Ever.
I keep saying to you, please let me join you. And I make a couple of mistakes, and now you don't want to know.
Get good, noob.
Seriously, I accidentally hit him a couple of times without realising it. And he got really grumpy. He got very, very, very grumpy.
She did more damage to me in one session than all the enemies that we faced.
Talent?
I damn near died.
Isn't it nice to know that I can do that to save your butt? No. I'm a necromancer. Don't worry. If you die, that's great.
No.
Have you walking?
No.
I think you can do that in Baldur's Gate.
You can
yes,
make a
you
necromancer,
can.
Yes.
No. If someone is essentially dead, you can grow something out of their body.
Yeah,
but only
you
if they're
can also talk to them.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying a player. And which would...
We have a certain bard right now who has speak with animals, speak with the dead, and see invisible. So every time we kill something, she gets to talk to it.
And is that Retta or Jess?
Who do you think?
That's the trouble. I'm having trouble with that. I think that could well be Retta, because Retta can be quite insistent on things. It's Jess!
Nope. It's the mistress of chaos that is my roommate.
Thank you so much for inviting me along, you kids.
You go to bed. We played for 8 hours yesterday.
Wow.
Why didn't you tell me? I would have come along.
Because you would have left at around 7 claiming, oh, I'm tired. It's midnight here. I have to go to bed for tomorrow's show. We played until like 11.
To be fair,
from 1.
I physically can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
I just can't.
Yeah, see? Plus,
but it would have been nice
to sit at the computer.
It would have been nice to have been asked. I don't know.
Our
Another chance to go on
time
that
is
Nautiloid.
midnight your time. It's like when we were playing City of Heroes.
I think I saw something. It may have been Positive Gamer's last video.
I don't watch anymore.
No, it came up as a suggested video, which surprised me. But there we go. That's nice, I suppose. Anything happening in the news? We've already done that, really, haven't we?
Yeah, we've kind of covered all that.
Tell you what. Let's do this. This is good. You'll like this, possibly. And now, from the worlds of BBC Television's Doctor Who, it's Doctor Who. a sixth Doctor Who, we think. We're not entirely certain. But a sixth Doctor Who is being knocked off course. And, oh dear me, he ends up landing on the top of a pile of filthy rubble, quite frankly. Peri's dressed up for, well, I think it was supposed to be Crystal Palace, but she looks like she'd be off the top of a very fancy cake, quite frankly.
No, she looks like she belongs on top of a pile of toilet paper rolls.
Or indeed
one of those dolls.
Yes. No, that's fair. Anyway, they go walking along, and the Scarecrow turns his head, and it's oh dear me, it's Mark of the Rani, everyone. Beautiful music. That's a definite plus, which is strange because it wasn't the original score. I think that's offered as an extra, certainly on the DVD, possibly on the Blu-ray.
Yes, I went and found it on the shelf.
So
it's on the DVD.
It's the Rani first exposure for the Rani. Anyway, it's the first Rani story, and Kate O'Mara bloody knocks it out of the park. She really does. She shows the Master up for the second-rate idiot he is. Quite frankly, hiding in the bloody field as a scarecrow.
Yeah,
what is wrong with him? The drums were beating very loudly.
Yes. There's a great line where she says something like, "Oh, no doubt you're up to one of your, like, ridiculous and overly complicated schemes again."
oh dear. And she's extracting the chemical that enables people to sleep. And there's a big red mark here, which Anthony Ainley keeps saying, the mark of the Rani, which is a bit annoying. Good cliffhanger, I thought. Not bad. A stunt Colin did himself. So, fair dues.
And he's very proud of doing.
Yes. Then there's the dog shit. Mm-hmm. You don't know that, do you, Ryan? There's a scene in episode 1 where he goes to investigate the bathhouse, so he has to disguise himself as a miner. Doesn't change his trousers.
As a miner or a miner?
A miner. It's Zathras. And he still keeps his yellow trousers on. But at one point, basically, he's too clean, so he picks up some stuff and rubs it in his face. We didn't realise that the dog had been for a shit there. The actor. And he had smelly face. Just thought you'd want to know that. I'm useful.
Thank you for sharing.
That. You're welcome. You're welcome. Any other scatological things I can tell you about?
The fact that you know the word is scatological.
I'm educated. To O-level standards.
Which mean nothing here in America.
No, that's because we speak a different language anyway. Yes. I like this one. It's nice. It's gentle. The Master's showing up to be what he is. Lots of outside filming. And it's film, it's not video, which is lovely. It's Pip and Jane's first strike for the show, and fair dues, they do well with it. The Rani's TARDIS, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. There was a preservation order put on it, but it warped in storage. Otherwise, we'd have had it back for time in the Rani. I like Mark of the Rani. It's a gentle palate cleanser, quite frankly. Who'd like to go first? Brian, you're looking confused. You go first, sweetheart.
Okay. Since this is our second viewing of this,
is it okay?
Yeah, we viewed
I don't
it
keep
previously.
a chart. I don't keep note of this.
Yeah, we know.
I did ask last week. Have we seen that? And you said no.
No, that's because I blotted it from my memory. It's okay. Don't worry. This to me is the beginning of kidified Doctor Who.
Interesting.
The makeup, the alien creatures, the bat things with the eyes in the back of their head and everything.
Brian.
Which could have...
Brian.
What?
I think you watched Time in the Rani.
Yeah, probably.
Not Mark of the Rani.
Probably.
So you put yourself through Time and the Rani.
I wouldn't say I put myself
Again.
through it. I was working in Foundry.
I'm
would say
sorry.
it was-
I deny all responsibility for this. I said Mark of the Rani.
It's okay.
I'm trying desperately not to laugh my silly socks off, but
Anyway, Time in the Rani. It's the beginning of kidified Doctor Who.
that's fair. However, how long does it last when you start looking at things like Ghostlight and Curse of Fenric, which are only 2 years?
Curse of Fenric actually looks a lot better because the creatures in it don't look like secondhand Power Ranger outfits.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, firsthand, because it did come first before Power Rangers. Okay.
If you say so.
Okay. Time in the Rani, the bat things.
The Tetrax.
You know how it looks.
Tetrax.
Yeah. It looks remarkably similar to something you would see in a Power Rangers 30-minute show.
Okay, if you say so. Yes, I think I can understand where you're coming from. I've seen the odd clip. So yes, yeah, no, I see what you're saying. We're still talking about the wrong Doctor Who story, but you're bloody determined.
It's
aren't
okay.
you?
It's fine. I don't care.
Oh, forcing yourself to watch it again when you didn't have to, you poor
I
bastard.
didn't force myself. It was on. I'm doing things.
I mean, do you want
I
me
have
to do an
multiple
introduction
screens for a
for? Do you want me
reason.
to do an introduction for Time in the Rani just for you?
No, it's okay.
Yeah. Okay.
It's the regeneration thing.
What did you think I
Episode.
was talking about when I started talking about this?
All I heard was Ronnie, and then you started talking. I'm like, I didn't watch that. I didn't see that.
It's any consolation, I ran out of time, and I haven't seen the end of Kolchak.
I
No,
blame
that's-
listening to that god awful War of the Worlds soundtrack.
Oh, we're coming to that.
Messing it up.
We're
yeah,
coming
I
to
know.
that.
Oh, I'm never leaving it.
I've been wanting to do that for years on the Blade at some stage. If Jo was still here, she'd have gone, oh, yes. But she and I,
Special
similar
spot in hell for people like that.
Anyway, moving back to Mark of the Rani, Lilibet, what did you make of, please don't say you watched Dimensions in Time.
No,
Oh, please watch Dimensions in Time instead.
I did not. I did actually watch the Mark of the Rani.
Oh,
But I realized
she's competent. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing here.
I realized partway through
Yeah.
because I watched the behind the scenes and then I watched the story.
Yeah, I do that. It's silly, but I do.
I kind of like to know. And sometimes in these later ones, there's actually stuff that they planned out that then they cut because they edited weird, or they had too much or not enough or whatever, and then you're missing part of the story, and you watch the behind the scenes things, and they're like, "It was supposed to do this," and you're like, "Oh, well, that makes more sense now." Anyway, I realized
one
I-
little piece of advice. It's friendly
Yes.
advice. The
yes,
tree won't harm you.
I've met Florida trees, and that's not true.
Right, okay, move away from that.
Listen
We
to
have
this
something-
woman.
Move away from that.
We have something called poison sumac.
Happy Christmas! What is wrong with America? Why does it?
No,
it's
no.
almost as bad as
This close to
Australia.
Australia, okay?
Yeah, that's
This
what I'm
Florida
saying.
is our Australia.
Yeah, we are.
At least in Australia, it's not the police trying to do it.
Moving along.
Everything here tries to kill you. It's just, they're not special. They just have to,
To
get
what
in
degree
line.
does it try?
Oh, Floridians are special.
Oh yes, I mean the list of things that tries to kill you. Like there's a lot. You have to get in line.
Got any deadly spiders?
There are a lot of slacker killers in Florida, I've noticed.
Yes.
They
Yes.
could kill you. They just
just
don't want to
can't
be
be bothered.
bothered. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like work, and they don't want to.
You see,
Yeah.
that sounds like Joe's. She reckons she'd be a brilliant stalker, except she can't be bothered. There's too much effort involved.
Just remember, stalking is when two people go out for a nice leisurely walk and only one person knows about it.
Yep. He lives up country, I'm just saying.
Well, here's the thing about Mark of the Rani. I realized as I was watching it, I had never seen it before.
Oh, how lovely.
Yeah. Because I was thinking, when you said it, I was thinking Time in the Rani. And I was thinking,
Yeah.
oh, Bonnie Langford. And I quite like Bonnie Langford.
Oh, God.
So, because I think she doesn't get enough credit.
No.
Anyway.
Well, she's coming back to the new series.
Oh, good.
Did you not know
Excellent.
that? I'm sorry. No, she's going to be with Ncuti Gatwa.
Okay.
And the thing is, I mean, we've heard Mel develop through Big Finish. And, of course, this is going to be an older Mel as well, with a funky orange moped. Scooter, rather. And I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean
Hopefully
to
it'll
do that.
match
I
her
also
hair.
didn't mean to spoil it. I thought you knew.
Is she still going to be, so positively optimistic and happy and perky and...
I think in the interview in Delirium, I think that's toned down a little bit. The
Okay.
character's the same, but not as irritating. I felt very sorry for her. She got,
yeah,
she got rough end of the stick.
Most of the problem was the writing and not
Yeah.
her.
Yeah, totally.
Because she.
Okay,
she's
let's
been able to
face it.
accent-
Most of the show's issues, it can be traced back to the writing.
Ooh.
And the budget.
Yeah, budget and writing.
Nothing else?
And who's running it?
Do you mean producer or just director?
Showrunner, whatever you call it.
Sometimes
would be
one,
a
sometimes the
producer.
other, but that's the sort of thing that you get intermittent problems with.
Mittens.
Intermittent, like if
Is
if
that,
the
are those the
problem is a
mittens
direct,
that are connected by a piece of string? Are they intermittents?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
they are well done.
thank you.
The internet is a series of tubes.
Yes, you run marbles through it.
Mm-hmm.
I lost mine.
They're somewhere in the tubes.
It's okay. We
straight.
still all have AOL email address.
I do
You've
not.
got
I have a
company.
Hotmail.
Ooh, you're fancy.
You've got company.
Hello, bots.
Hello.
Yeah,
love
so
Hello,
I
Bob.
really, I enjoyed this story. I enjoyed seeing the Ronnie playing against the Master, having two villains to talk to each other who were in not conflict, but in a marriage of convenience.
Yeah. and
basically.
The bickering was good.
Yes,
There's some good
because
bickering.
I don't like the Doctor and Perry bickering.
No.
In general, I don't. It's bad vibes.
Yes. Totally agree.
And I don't want to be uncomfortable with my main characters. But the villains, they can bicker all they want.
That's what villains are for.
Exactly. And it was fun that she's competent and and amoral.
We also find out that male Time Lords, or when they regenerate into the male sex, have external gonads. Who knew? Anthony only gets kneed somewhere very horrible by her at one point. And it's a case of, well, that's that confirmed then.
Well, he ought to have been doing what he was doing.
Brian's having a problem.
He's communicating.
No, Brian is just short circuiting for a second.
As you said, the
Mr.
music
Ring.
is nice.
Yeah, it's Jonathan Gibb. His first and possibly, if I remember rightly, only score for the series.
It was still electronic, which I kind of wish it were actual instruments, because I'm not a huge fan of electronic music. It just always feels
Yeah.
electronic to me.
No, I'm down
and-
with that. I can agree with that.
It's yeah,
But War
it's not
of the Worlds wasn't electronic music. Carry on.
Y'all are doing your best to break each other today.
Yes.
This is why we need you, Lilibet.
I'm just going to have a little stop sign, like a crossing guard.
I still say Wi-Fi controlled shock collars. You can buy that sort of thing, I'm told.
Uh-huh. The setting of this was clever. The script is good. And I liked the little interview with Pip and Jane Baker. They're sweet. They're sweet with each other.
Oh, yes, very much so. But don't get on their wrong side. Andrew Cartmel managed to do that. And
Well-
they weren't very forgiving.
That is what it was.
Well, yes, quite.
But they seem very, very cute with each other when they're being interviewed. And, you know, she'll start something and then turns to him and says, "You finish it. You tell the rest of the story."
It reminded me of an old couple on a program called Gogglebox. I don't watch Gogglebox. But a few years ago, a friend of mine did when I was around there. And there's this elderly couple. And they're incredibly posh. But I didn't like them, let's put it that way. Probably because they were posh. That's a thing I've got to try and get rid of. Anyway, sorry, carry on.
I enjoyed the setting. The idea of setting something in this village, basically.
Well, to be fair,
where
that exists. It's an actual place you can go to and visit and be shown around and see how things were done back then.
and that makes sense.
Kenilworth.
But it's nice that it's not the middle of a city, because often these stories are the middle of the city, and it's kind of nice to have something a little more rural, which
Or
is a
the
good
middle
change.
of a quarry in Surrey.
Right, right. We had certain amount of quarry behavior, but not too much. And they traded most of that for mud instead.
They had a lot of rain problems during filming Mark of the
Although
Rye.
from the previous story, that wasn't mud.
Okay.
Some of that was not mud.
The previous story he's talking about, I think, is me talking about Colin Baker putting dirt on his face. I think that's the connection.
That. Yes.
I mean, yes, I flicked straight to vengeance on Varys as well when he said previous story. Look, you're closer to him than I am. Can't you do something?
Look, all I'm saying, you
that
have to
much,
get your
actually.
transmission really tuned up to really keep going with me. I've had
Oh, God.
6 of these goddamn things so far.
You were
Oh
gonna
my
regret
goodness,
it.
that is the sugar
You're
rush.
going to regret it
So-
so much.
So I'm about ready to see through time. All right. I am Fry after the 99th cup of coffee here.
You can now hear colors.
I can hear colors. I can smell X-rays.
I don't know how to respond to that. Except to say you're going to regret this. Not from me. Not at all.
You made me listen to War of the Worlds, the musical. I already regret it.
That is because, and I've said this to you before, there is no poetry in your soul.
Oh, there is poetry. It's just not crappy disco poetry.
Right, that's it. That's it. Why? Why don't office fires follow the exit signage? They need some training. That's from the world's best.
I happen to enjoy the world's
from
bestest
Amazon.
poet.
What? Sorry, I was too busy.
I happen to enjoy the
advertising
world's
this.
bestest poet. I've been
Advertising-
a fan of his since he began writing his poetry.
Okay, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think we're going to get a chance to say anything because Brian, no, forget it. He's
No,
in
go
a
ahead.
whole different space-time continuum.
Go ahead.
which is-
Go ahead.
I was just trying to give an advert out for Andrew's books.
And
that
Andrew
was all.
should get, everyone, the world's bestest poet.
Volumes 1 and 2.
Volume, how many volumes is he up to? 2? Just 2? Volume 2 is out now. Volume 1 is already in print. Please go pick it up. I believe it's on Amazon. It's on Kindle. Enjoy.
They're actually not bad. They're better than he thinks they are. They're better than he intended.
They're really
I suspect.
not bad.
No.
Well, that's the thing with poetry. The more you write it, the better you get.
He's being deeper than he realizes.
Mm-hmm.
At least I think he is. Unless it's a clever trick. I wouldn't put it past him.
Has he been reading Sun Tzu, The Art of War, and just getting us to lower our defenses?
Who do you think wrote it?
Oh my God.
Right, exactly.
The Martian invasion is coming.
No one would have believed. Hey, boys and girls, you're going to get a William Hartnell impersonation tonight. And there is a specific reason for it. Oh, that reminds me. Also, as far as I know, the 60th anniversary thing I'm involved in should be released in November. Can't give you more details than that. It's completely out of my hands. But we'll see.
You could do a little glitch in the Twitch thing and a little 60th and then another little glitch.
Yeah, I wanted to say something at Hooverville. No, couldn't do that. Desperate to say something on here. I can't. God, I hope it's worthwhile. Not what they've done, but what I did. I've been waiting for the new boy to get back to me because I wanted his opinion on it, but he keeps forgetting because he's an actor. Actors do that. They do. They forget these things. It's quite sad, really. A little bit. Did you enjoy Marco Rani? Anything
did,
in
much-
particular? What's the one thing that stood out?
The one thing. I think the Ronnie and the Masters interactions. I think that was my favorite thing about it.
Excellent. Brian, what was the one thing that stood out for you of Time in the Rani?
I already said it. It's the kidification of Doctor Who.
That's what stood out. That was the defining moment of Time in the Rani for you.
Yeah.
Not that it ended.
No. I'm actually okay with it. The time frame, how long it was, and everything.
Stockholm Syndrome. It must be.
It is.
It must be. I'm trying to think if I've ever met anybody who likes Time in the Rani. There must be somebody out there. Surely. Listen, if you like Time in the Rani and aren't embarrassed to say so, get in touch. Right. Now, I missed the last 10 minutes of Kolchak because I ran out of time, so I don't know how it ended. So we'll come to Kolchak afterwards. There's no big finish. However, there is this. Yes, well, no one would have believed, would they? I believe rather in the last years of the 20th century, 19th century, 19th century, yes, that human affairs were being watched from the timeless worlds of space. No one could have dreamed that we were being scrutinized, as someone with a microscope studies creatures that swarm and multiply in a drop of water. Few men even considered the possibility of life on other planets. And yet, across the gulf of space, minds immeasurably superior to ours, to yours rather, regarded this earth with envious eyes. And slowly and surely, they drew their plans against us. Yes! Da-da-da! Da-da-da! We listened to Jeff Wayne's musical version of War of the Worlds. That, on the record, is narrated by Richard Burton. Narrated properly by Richard Burton. I did that because that's the weirdest thing I've ever been asked to do.
Really?
Read that out in a church for an organ recital.
Wow.
As Hartnell.
Whoa. That's
And in the end,
that would be like my third thing I've ever been asked, weirdest thing I've ever been asked to do.
I don't want to know what the other two are.
don't.
I ended up recording it, and it ended up being played around churches in the southeast.
Surreal.
very happy to have done it, especially the person involved, because he's lovely. But I've had to do some strange things with the Hartnell. I'm going to be honest with you. Anyway, yes. Jeff Wayne's musical version of War of the Worlds. As I mentioned last week, this is almost a British rite of passage, what it was back in the 70s and 80s. It's ideal music to listen at night when you're in your bedroom alone and it's dark. And it's absolutely brilliant because it's actually quite a visual album. The music encourages the vision. It's a bit like Mars the Bringer of War. As a piece of music, it's incredibly visual. You can imagine what's going on to the music. And I find the same with War of the Worlds, Jeff Wayne's War of the Worlds. There's a load of good songs in there. I'm sorry about Forever Autumn a little bit. I didn't think about that.
Well, I listened through that, and that's when I took a break.
Yeah, sorry. Truly. I keep doing things like this, and I should.
It's all right. It's okay.
But at the same time, I don't want to treat you as kid
listen, I was fine, and then afterwards I was like, I need a break. So that's as far as I got.
Fair enough. The Martians die.
Well, they had it coming,
It was the
really.
cold virus. Just did you get to hang on Forever Autumn? No, I don't think you got to the artilleryman. Bows and arrows against the lightning. David Essex. What did you think up to that point?
It was sort of weird. I listened while I was like doing dishes and
It's
cleaning the
essentially
kitchen.
a
and things.
concept album, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what it felt like. It felt like listening to a 70s concept album. And those aren't my favorite thing in the world. But I can respect that it's
He's nodding.
I'm agreeing.
Sorry if you hear a dog. The neighbor's dog is outside.
No,
and it's
can't
very
hear a thing. Don't worry.
good.
Don't worry about it.
I found it interesting. I respect the level of work that was involved and the level of artistry that was involved, and I can recognize that. And I did find some of it very effective. And I also had a moment where when you talked about it and said, "Oh, we're going to listen to it," and I was like, "Okay, well, I've never heard that before." I've heard that there was a sort of War of the Worlds
I'm very
musical, but I
surprised Dave didn't introduce you to it.
he may have at one point, but I'm not a huge fan of War of the Worlds.
This is the woman he loved. You don't do that to someone you love.
Well, also War of the
No,
Worlds
this is
kind
how
of
you find out if they really love you.
If they
Listen.
really love you, they'll look at the album cover and go, "Hey, what's this?"
I've got I listen. I've still got the Gatefold album cover from the 70s up there. It's worth a fair bit, apparently. So
I watched a heck of a lot of the 70s public information videos where they electrocuted children as a warning to the others.
Damn straight. Those frisbees can be deadly.
You sacrifice a few for the greater good.
I am the spirit of dark and lonely water.
Yes, that one. No wonder everybody was slightly insane.
What? British Generation X, damn straight.
Yes,
This makes me
yes.
think that Cabin in the Woods is actually a documentary about, how they
Teaching
keep the
children
other
not to go
gods.
camp in the woods. Yes.
Yeah.
So, these 3 children went to go fly a kite. Only one came back.
And he was a
Anyway.
bit crispy.
I don't particularly care for War of the Worlds because it's depressing. And
Interesting.
I've never particularly cared for War of the Worlds.
I take it
don't-
you've read the book.
I have read the book.
Yeah.
And I've seen one of the films, and of course, everybody over here has at least heard of the
But that
infamous
50s,
radio
that
play.
50s film, and then, like you say, the radio play from Orson
The
Welles.
infamous radio play.
Yeah. I listen to that every Halloween.
Oh, in that case, we're going to have to do Invaders from Mars, a Big Finish story. It features Orson Welles and that performance.
You know what? We can also watch Transformers from 1986 because it features Orson Welles as a giant planet-eating planet.
I prefer my suggestion. It's got Paul McGann in it.
I prefer my suggestion. It has Leonard Nimoy in it.
Oh, God. Bilbo Baggins. Da, da.
This is bad comedy, Starscream.
A little bit, save me.
Both of you are wrong.
I think we broke her.
Oh, you'll never do that. Trust me, you'll never do that. She reboots very quickly. And she's a bit like Janet in that
come back
respect.
stronger.
Exactly. She evolves every time she reboots.
She is the Borg.
Arr. Never cared for them much.
She's a
either.
Janet. She's just a Janet. You must have seen The Good
yes,
Place.
Yes, I like the Janet comparison.
Yeah.
So
Not
I
a
was
person.
I was intrigued by this. And I had a weird moment because, like I said, I thought I'd heard of it but never actually heard the music. And then listening to the first real song where they're talking about the odds of people coming from Mars is very small, but here they are.
1,000,000 to 1, I think you'll find.
Yes, yes. Which does mean 1,000,000 to 1 actually isn't that small of odds when you're talking about space. So those are actually fairly good odds. When
I honestly don't think Herbert George realised that. Space was a whole new thing back then.
Yes. Yes.
And Mars was a dead planet.
Well,
Again.
again.
The Fendal did that.
Well, or possibly what's his face, the Egyptian.
Well, Sutekh.
Yes, him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Possibly, though it's apparently the Fendal took in Mars on its way to Earth. That's what happened to Mars.
Oh, well, that will annoy
That, the flood.
That should annoy the Osirians.
Oh, and also the Ice Warriors, wouldn't they be
Yeah.
slightly annoyed? Mars is apparently a very busy place.
This is another one of those. It's a Doctor Who conundrum, isn't it? I mean, you've got unit dating, you've got the destruction of Atlantis, and then it's a case of what actually did happen on Mars. Because you got the flood, you've got the ambassadors who weren't Martian, but they must have seen something down there. You got the Ice Warriors, you got the Fendal, you got the Osirians building a giant Great Pyramid there. It's not never been worked out, unless your name is Lance Parkin. There's a chance he may have worked that out. I'm going to have to look that up. I think it might be mentioned in the original edition of A History of the Universe. Okay.
So I had this moment when I was listening to that part of the music, that song, where before the lyrics kicked in, where you could just sort of hear the echo of what will be the lyrics in the melody. And I went, ooh, this sounds like I think I know that reference. I think I know the song they're referencing. Because I knew from something else, someone singing a snatch of it in some other pop culture reference. And so I thought, oh, this is referencing that because that talks about Mars and this is about Mars. Isn't that clever? And then we got to the lyrics and I went, oh no, the thing they were singing in the other pop culture reference is this song.
The chances of anyone coming from Mars are 1,000,000 to 1, they said.
Yes, and it
Still
was.
they came.
And no one offered them any cookies or sweet tea.
They'll probably explain why they were so grumpy when they finally got out of their capsule.
Exactly. I mean, if you flew that far, you'd think someone would hi neighbor, knock. Would
Plus,
you like
I get the
snack?
feeling there were those actual brake systems. It was just basically fired like a gun.
Maybe they were the
Earth.
B arc.
Oh, they could have been the B arc. Yeah,
Like the Martian version.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Where they're like,
I mean-
you're going to go and you're going to crash and it's going to be fine.
Yeah, you'll be fine. Don't worry about it. The giant mutant stargoat will leave you alone.
Yeah, don't worry about the germs on the other planet. Don't even worry about it. It'll be fine.
They probably didn't have germs on Mars because it was a dead planet.
Well, apparently not, because they all live there.
Yeah.
But I think it was effective. It's not really my sort of music. It was a little repetitive.
Yes.
And everything, like, I felt like, okay, you made your point, and maybe this is my attention span. It might not be the problem.
I know where you're going with this. Yes.
I find it in a lot of 70s music. Like, it doesn't need to be a 4-minute song or a 5-minute song. Like, did you make your point in 2.5 minutes? Then you made your point, move on.
Oh, dear. Woke up this morning.
Like
my mum was
Thunderchild,
Come on,
constantly
Thunderchild.
repeating it. Yeah. Yeah.
There was a lot of repetition. I
agree.
did like the narrative parts because I seem to recall, I mean, it's been a long time since I read the book, but it seemed to recall that those are more or less verbatim from the book.
I think very probably they are. I
It
couldn't tell
sounded
you,
like
but-
Wells' writing.
Yeah.
Which was good. It
And
was
Richard
good
Burton
narration.
performs it far better than I could. I'm going to be honest with you.
He does a nice performance. And he doesn't
It's
camp it
Richard
up,
Burton.
which he so easily could. But I got to autumn, and I was actually kind of, I was doing housework and tidying,
Yeah,
and
I'm so sorry.
and that's okay. I thought when I got to it, I was like, oh, right, of course. And yeah, I was kind of like, okay, well, I need a break here. And then I just never didn't get back to it. Because then it was like, I was listening this morning because I timed it out so I would have enough time to listen. Yeah, so I didn't get back to it. But that actually means that song was effective and effectively did what it wanted to do.
I think it got to number 1 over here, separated from the album.
Yeah. Again, too long. It's a little too long. There's not quite enough lyrics. I don't like a song, and this is a me thing. I don't like a song where you have to repeat your lyrics 400 times because your song is long enough that you need, like, if you've run out of lyrics, your song is over.
Tell the Beatles that.
Yes, Beatles and I have had a conversation.
I always wondered what happened to John
Jude
and
heard
George.
you the first time.
They used to wig out at the end of their songs. I know. I take your point. I take your point on, and I'm
But it was
not.
interesting.
It's you make a fair point with that. You do, but the whole thing is it's supposed to be just one whole musical journey rather than separate songs. Forever Autumn was, because it was so good and it had obviously Justin Hayward from Moody Blues singing it. They released it as a single, remixed it slightly to get rid of the War of the Worlds side of it, and I think it got to number 1. But like I say, that for my generation, War of the Worlds was that particular version was a bit of a rite of passage. Everybody was just in awe of it. Brian, genuinely, what did you think?
If you delete the lyrics, the music's not bad. If you add in the lyrics, it becomes a 2-hour coke session from hell.
It may well have been.
Exactly.
What did you make of Forever Autumn?
It was just one blur after the first hour.
Oh, Brian, I'm so sorry.
No, Forever Autumn is in the first hour.
Okay, good. It's one big fucking
Because I looked at the YouTube video when I was like, I need to take a break. This is like 2 hours long. Okay, I'm about an hour in. I have, and I was looking at my clock, and which is how I knew I wasn't going to have time to finish it after my break. But yeah, it's in the first hour. It's when he can't find his girlfriend or whatever.
Oh,
it's a
okay.
beautiful
So
song.
when they lock eyes and she's carried
Yeah,
away by
before
the
that, when
mob,
That's before that.
and he's
That's
going.
before that.
London, and then he searches for her and goes
Yeah.
through London with all the refugees, and then
And you managed to
Sees
catch
her
a
on the
glimpse
ship.
of them on the
He
ship.
catches a glimpse, and then he's
which
pulled away
I
by the
find
mob. and-
unrealistic,
yeah.
but okay. I mean,
Again, it's
I
H.G.
can't-
Wells. It's a science fiction romance.
yes. Well,
by a
sort
guy
of.
who couldn't write romance.
Yeah,
It's a
it's not a-
romantic song. A song?
It's romantic, yes, it's
Look,
romantic,
It's supposed
yes.
to be, because
Yes.
those sort of things were such flights of fancy that they called them science fiction romances. You know?
Yes. A romance has a
There was
happily
that.
ending.
There was Thunderchild. The story of the last great ironclad that came up the
Come on,
Thames and
Thunder Child.
shot the walker and destroyed
Yes.
it and then died.
Yes.
Goodbye, Thunderchild.
It was so sad.
And then every chance I could, I heard, move along, move along. Kill me now, kill me now.
Yeah, no. Those voices really shouldn't be there. I'm going to be honest.
And when he heard the downed tripod talking or making sound, I should say. Yeah, that was horrible. The death of the Martians. Yeah, and their explanation of the red weed.
I can't remember what the explanation for that was.
The red weed was what they brought from their planet, from Mars, to
Yeah.
terraform Earth, and it was fed by human blood.
Oh, wow, I didn't realize that. I should have...
And the Martians in there also ate human blood.
Oh, we knew that,
because they were
yes.
injecting it into themselves.
And that's how they caught a cold.
Yeah.
Okay, but that doesn't logically make any sense.
Oh, God.
Because they're essentially incinerating humans with their little beam. If you needed the humans' blood, you would keep them at least not necessarily
Well, they
alive,
captured
but...
the ones they captured alive. Yeah.
The Martians have not thought this out.
No, they have not.
And do you want to be a Martian, Brian?
I keep telling them they haven't thought it out properly, and it's just one of those things. It's a cultural difference. They're not quite getting it, but
I'm telling Dr. Sinister about this betrayal. Quite frankly, you sir.
Look, I have a
traitor.
lovely
You're a
plot of
quisling.
land in Caledonia. It's got a nice face on it. It's got a nice little pyramid. I'm gonna be happy.
Fair enough.
It's a retirement home.
Yeah, I know. I'm just...
Yeah, but you can only step on the odd squares, and you have to do math every time you try to get in the door.
Yeah.
Are we still talking? Hang on, no. Hang on a moment. I got too many references going around my head.
See, I did, and then I built the perfect person out of M&Ms. She
Sorry,
gets it.
We appear to have broken you.
Her pop culture score is 0. We have to remember this.
Are you being American?
No, we've seen movies since the year 2000.
Where they have M&M people
Yeah.
on Mars.
DNA structures built out of M&Ms in a
on Mars.
double helix. Yes.
It's better not to know.
Thank you. That's what I wanted to know.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So there we go.
And
So
then they kill what's his name by just opening up his hood in space.
No, but did you enjoy this?
I would say I enjoyed it, but I would say I found it intriguing.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
It's not something that I'd say, oh, I'm in the mood. Let me go listen to that again. But I can respect the level of artistry that went into it. And
We can do the live show next week.
the live show of War of the Worlds.
War of the Worlds, yeah. It's got moving bits and everything.
Uh-huh.
That's a no, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
War of the Worlds is just depressing. It's just a lack of communication.
Do I really even need to say something about that, or can you just...
No, we're taking your response as read, quite frankly. Yeah. Okay, so as an
So
I'm
example...
gonna get I'm gonna get a new bunch of monkeys to type out these scripts because really these ones currently aren't cutting it anymore.
However,
Obviously, well, I was going to say, I know you really liked it. So what is it about it that you really appreciate?
I think it's memory. I think it's nostalgia. I know those pieces of music really well because over the years I've heard them so many times. That's what I think it is. But I do take your points about it being very repetitive. It is. That's fair.
Although,
if you want to do War of the Worlds, I do have the entire 1990s War of the Worlds series.
There's only
available.
one. I would do
It's the first appearance of Adrian Paul, pretty much anywhere.
Hang on. There are two versions of War of the Worlds that I'll do. One is the 1950s film. I like that film. It's not.
It's a good film. It's a solid film.
It's not very accurate at all, but like you say, it's a good, solid film.
It's solid.
And the sound of their... Well, they were tripods because they had little lines of force, 3 little lines of force coming down from them. But the sound of those haunts me to this day.
I love that sound.
The other one hasn't been made yet, which is an accurate retelling of the book. It's just not been made. Period, get the period right, get it all right. The BBC went, we're going to do a period thing, and then fucked it up hugely. Spielberg goes, I'm going to do World of Worlds, but I think I'll have it in America, and let's have a father and son narrative, because that's what we do. And it's a case of, for fuck's sake, I just want somebody, please, film an accurate adaptation of H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds. That's all I'm after.
Or we could watch the tripods.
No. I've never seen the tripods. I'm not going to see the tripods. I have a very good reason. Want to know what that reason is?
You don't want to?
Well, aside from that. It's, you see, the tripods was on in 85 and 86 during the Doctor Who hiatus. And it felt like, so they're fucking off Doctor Who, but they're putting this crap on instead. I was the same with Crime Traveller, beginning of the 90s. It's a case of, you've got the perfect format there, but you're just avoiding it. So that's why I don't like whatever it was we were talking about.
Tripods.
Thank you. Yes, there we go. Them. Plus, the BBC only did 2 of the three books. And apparently the second one was very boring. So from what I'm told. I don't know. I didn't see it. We'll come up with something. Don't worry. However, you're not finished with War of the Worlds yet.
There.
You're not finished with War of the Worlds yet. You've got a big finish to listen to.
Oh, dear.
Both of you. It features the Paternoster Gang.
Well, then we like. And if the Martians showed up with Lizard Lady, she just wouldn't put up with that sort of nonsense.
Right?
It also features Missy.
Missy would have invited the Martians just for shits and giggles.
It also features at the start a first Doctor of some description. And, not me, in other words. It's that Richard Newboy. And then goes to David Tennant. Mr. Dr. David Tennant, sir. It was recorded during lockdown. Which shows how long they'd been planning this thing. Quite frankly. So, yeah, it's once and future, and I can't remember what it's... Oh, that's it. Is it the Saving of Planetoid 50 or the Invasion of Planetoid 50? Something like that. Anyway, that's what we're listening to for Big Finish next week. There's some good stuff coming up over the next couple of weeks. I think there's a 7-part Third Doctor Liz Shaw jobby. And I love what Daisy Ashford has done with Liz Shaw. It's a case of, that's Liz. And there's something else. But Gallifrey War Room should be coming out either next week or the week after. So that'll be interesting. Have to wait and see. Now, hello. Hi. I didn't get to watch the end of Kolchak. I ran out of time. I got up to the part where he goes back to... he tries to track down Vorg. Look, I'll tell you what, I'll start this properly. Kolchak, even. Righty-ho. It starts off with Kolchak being rather battered and weary and claiming he's been held by men and he's been given injections to interfere with his memory and he's been retconned, basically. So he has to get it out as quickly as he can.
Hang on. Did we skip one?
Horror in the Heights, whatever it was.
We skipped that.
Yes.
We skipped that because Andrew isn't available.
Okay. I did not realize that I was under the understanding that we were just not doing one this week.
Don't worry
So
about
I
it.
saw that one, but I have not seen the next one. Although, as you describe it, I may remember it because I may have seen it.
There were
some point.
tetraps in it.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
No. Okay. Well, I didn't
that's
see.
all
I
right.
didn't catch the end of it. Can we really talk? Brian, come on. You talk about this because you must have watched all of it.
Yeah, I did.
There you go then. I'm going to go back
All
and
right.
finish it off, but
So,
don't give the ending away.
well, that's going to be difficult. So Carl
Pose the
gets-
mystery. Pose the mystery.
Okay, so here's the mystery.
Yeah.
Somebody gets murdered.
By
Dun, dun,
being
dun, dun.
having his neck gently squeezed for 2 seconds.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Carl comes into the office as he's in trouble with Vincenzo.
No, surely not.
He was on assignment up somewhere, and he just decided to bail on everybody and go fishing for the day.
He did, yes.
In the meantime, Vincenzo sent Updike to cover a murder in San Francisco,
Yes.
That seems like poor choice.
which should have been Kolchak.
Kolchak, yeah.
Yeah. But, so he's pissed off.
Yeah.
So Vincenzo makes him do an obituary, which apparently at that time, obituary was the lowest form of grunt work.
Don't tell
That
that
a
to Toby.
reporter
Please
could
don't
do.
tell that to Toby.
That's what he said. That's in the 70s. That's American. So I
The
don't
worst
know.
part, a friend of mine used to work for a local newspaper as a journalist. And I'm going to say journalist rather than just reporter, you know. And the worst part was they took it in turns was the death knock. When somebody had died, they had to go and knock on the door to see
Yeah.
if they wanted. Horrible
Yeah.
job. What a horrible job.
Yeah. That's apparently what Kolchak said. It's intern work. It's crap. It's the dregs of the dreg work. So he has to go out and he's researching this guy that died, who apparently is a scientist.
No.
He works with computers.
No.
And his wife is smashed,
Very,
You know.
very smashed.
She is drunk. She is,
She's still drunk from the
Gone.
week before, basically.
yeah.
Yeah.
And she lets out something that he was working on a secret project, blah, blah, blah. At some place that's so secret he's not even allowed to say anything about. And he was having an affair with one of his co-workers.
Pretty tat.
Hello,
Yeah.
Rosie.
And that's fine. That's fine. That's fine and dandy. Carl goes and checks on the co-worker and the place, and he starts getting deeper and deeper into it. And while he's out looking, he sees a sight that he's not so sure of.
Which is,
He sees a guy in a mask
yes.
going down, just causing terror down the street, up
Yes.
and down.
Brian,
there are
were
cops
policemen
there.
thrown everywhere?
Policemen thrown
Oh
everywhere,
my
attacking
God, no.
him. And these are Chicago cops.
Oh my
Perhaps
God.
One of the most gun-happy cops in the world.
And they're being told,
Don't shoot. So that
That's a happy
automatically
cat.
gets Carl, gets his wheels spinning. He goes on to talk to the mistress, who turns out it wasn't his mistress, but a fellow scientist.
it was Vorg from Carnival of Monsters.
Okay. And
Do you want to know why?
no.
Yes, you do. What was the name of that character?
I forget already.
Leslie Dwyer. Who played Vorg in Carnival of Monsters? A man called Leslie Dwyer. It's a very unusual name. And
It
so,
is an unusual name.
just a thought.
Okay.
There we go. Hi.
Yano
Rosie, would you like to
Scorzini.
contribute to the conversation?
Apparently
Remember
so.
it. There's a quiz later.
Oh, shit.
And so he's talking with Leslie Dwyer and he gets thrown out.
Part of the Polar
And he's starting to piece it together, but not quite. Then Leslie Dwyer goes missing. She's been kidnapped by the man in the mask.
No.
Only, here's the shocker.
Yes.
It's not a man in the mask.
No, don't give the game
It's a
away. Brian.
robot.
No, it can't be because
It's an analog 70s robot.
Yes. Now this is where I started to get confused.
This is where I start to get mad.
Where I think to myself, have you seen the state of robotics nowadays? I mean, the cutting edge is nothing like that. And then you've also got Brian. I wanted Steve Austin, the $6 million man, to turn up.
That robot had maybe 5 megs maximum of memory.
You're pushing
And yet
it
they
there.
managed to imprint survival instincts on it.
Wow.
That's 5 megs.
I mean,
okay?
it was. Did they actually say that in the show?
Yeah, no.
I was going to
That's
say, because they're talking about
technology at the
miniaturized technology and everything. It might have been.
This is 2 terabytes.
No, it's not. It's a thumb drive.
Okay?
It's a thumb drive. It's not 2 terabytes.
No, this is
You
2
hold me up
terabytes.
2 terabytes and show me. You're giving me the look.
The terabytes live on Mars with everybody else. We know that.
That's true. There's no, come on now.
I will have revenge for this music. Oh, yes, I will. Oh, yes, I will.
The
Anyway.
chances of that happening are 1,000,000 to 1, they said.
1,000,000 to 1. So it's a robot. It's an analog robot. It's got reel-to-reels in its face and no eyes.
This is how I knew it wasn't a real
well, this
real
explains
robot.
the other
It
fact.
didn't have eyes like Sarah Jane.
Yeah, this explains why it was also breaking into libraries for the blind and stealing books on philosophy in Braille.
Right. I'm
So
gonna
the
cut it
robot
off there.
reads Braille.
I'm cutting you
The
off
robot reads Braille because he can't read print.
there. Cutting
Okay.
you off
But
there.
he
Cutting
can
you off there.
see everyone to punch them.
Cutting you off there. I think he was actually listening to the books that were being read. So learning from that rather than from the Braille. It was a Braille
Their magnetic
library.
tape.
Yeah. Now,
Okay,
Which is-
so he was
now-
books on tape makes more sense.
okay, we're leaving it there because I don't know how it ends. I got to finish it when we leave here.
We know how it ends.
No, I know we don't. We
Okay,
don't.
they all end the same way.
Not necessarily.
Kolchak destroys whatever the thing is, and then
Nope.
he can't
Nope.
write about it.
Just
Nope.
shush. Spoilers for Kolchak. Jesus Christ.
Auntie, take your headphones off. Okay, so the military come in and they blast the robot. They shoot the damn thing and it's destroyed. 1 shot, 1 kill. I don't know how that fucking happens. But then Carl, the robot, and Leslie are taken off to a secret place that Carl doesn't know about,
Uh-huh.
and he's given sodium pentothal.
Ah.
He's given some nice drugs and told things never happened, and that is where we leave off.
So a different
wonder-
ending.
I wonder how long we can get her to keep the headphones off and just to keep going. So maybe if I act animated and stuff, she'll just think we're still reviewing everything. Because this is nice, and this is actually a proper revenge for that god awful damn musical. I'm really enjoying this. I am. No,
You finished. I was singing Eve of the War for you.
You were.
Badly. Cat's ass.
Rosie has decided to show you her tail.
you know you're not allowed to sing by UN convention.
I wouldn't really call it singing per se. Making an interesting noise that needs analysing, maybe.
Is this just really the... Is it a cake or is it a biscuit argument?
I think we're a little bit on the cake and biscuit.
Are you still talking Kolchak or are you talking my singing?
You're singing.
A little bit of both.
As to whether when you argue in front of the UN,
So,
in your own defense.
do you want to know why Andrew can't make it tonight?
Yes, what's he up to?
He has better things to do.
No idea. I forgot to ask him.
That's all right. Fair enough.
So next week it's either going to be, is it Horror in the Hills, Brian.
Horror in the Heights.
Horror in the Heights. Or
Oh, whatever the one is after the one that I was supposed to watch and didn't.
Mr. Ring.
Horror in the Heights or Primal Scream.
There we go. Primal
Okay.
Scream. But yes.
Okay, so we'll do Primal Scream unless Andrew's available, and then we'll do Horror in the Heights.
Horror in the Heights.
Okay.
I haven't decided on the Doctor Who story. I was going to leave it to Andrew to decide on the Doctor Who story for next. Give me a doctor. Anybody, give me a doctor.
Walter White.
Did he have a doctorate?
I don't know.
Trying to think of one we haven't.
Dr.
watched in a
Welby.
while.
Marcus Welby, MD.
Will be the doctor. Hang on.
Benjamin Franklin Pierce.
Oh, now that's a box set I'd love to have. The box set of MASH.
It's a long box set.
Oh yeah, it was a long series. But
It
my
lasted
God, it was
5
good.
years longer than
In the war.
the war.
Yeah, it was. Oh my word! What a marvelous show MASH was. It had
Mm-hmm.
heart, and you could normally see it there on the screen. Lily,
Okay, so
come on,
we've
give me a
done-
doctor. Just give me a
Well, I
doctor.
was thinking because we've done recently. We've done Sixth Doctor.
Yes.
We did or Tom Baker fairly recently. Didn't we? Yeah, 'cause-
but
yeah,
you're missing out.
we
We've
did, and
also
then we
done
jumped.
4 Pertwees, and before that we did the War Games. So,
Right. And we've done quite a lot of the first Doctor not too long ago.
have we?
Yes.
Sod you, Brian. You'd say that anyway.
No, we did.
So, do we want to do something that's 5th or 7th?
The trouble with 7 is there's not a huge amount there because the seasons are so short. And
Well,
that's
we've
true,
already
so-
done, what's its name? Trial of a Time Lord.
Yeah, that's the 6th, love.
Or does Andrew have a favorite?
Well, that's what I was going to ask. I'll tell you what we're going to do, just for the shits and giggles. We're going to watch the Space Museum.
Okay.
Again?
What was the other one I was thinking of then, if it wasn't that? Don't do the Web Planet. I haven't got time for that sort of headache. Fuck off!
What is it? And War of the Worlds joined forces.
It's either that or the Ark. Take a pick. The Ark or the Space Museum.
Ark in Space?
No, the Ark or the Space Museum. One's got a security kitchen in it.
We've already seen that.
A little bit might not have.
Which Doctor is it?
First Doctor, of course.
Oh, I probably haven't then.
Brian! Brian! I have to educate her on Billy. Isn't that good,
no.
Brian? Isn't that wonderful? You know what that means they're going to end up with, don't you? You know what's coming. You know what's going to come some weeks down the line. With rings on your fingers and bells on your toes.
I'm sorry, Eddie. I tried.
Yeah, I have to.
I
admit,
kept it off as long as I could.
I have to admit, I feel a pang of sorrow every time I sing that now. Poor Eddie. He that song gave him flashbacks. It was
That was a traumatizing song.
It was a traumatizing period for him, quite frankly, watching 4 episodes of The Gunfighters with the song. It's a novel idea, but it just goes on just that bit too long.
This is something that I've noticed in Doctor Who for a long time, ever since I was watching it as a kid.
Yeah.
Sound goes on too long. Background noise goes on too long. Beeps and boops and computer noises and alarms go on too long.
Can you give me an example?
Maybe, well,
I'm not saying that to be awkward. I just want to
yes,
see what you mean.
there's a lot of, we're in a space station and there's some kind of attack happening.
Pew, pew, pew.
beep, 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 beep,
And the
or
alarm
some
goes on too long. But when
Yeah.
do you turn an alarm off? I mean, a
when
fire
you-
alarm, you keep it going until everyone's
Well,
safe,
yeah,
surely.
in real life, sure, but not on television.
But that's in space. It's even more important.
We know that there's an emergency as viewers. The characters are aware there's an emergency. We don't need to hear the noise anymore.
But they need to make space travel as realistic as possible.
No,
I'm going to get clobbered. I'm going to get clobbered so hard.
they don't.
Okay.
Yes, they don't.
I've been told. I'm sorry now. Oh, dear.
Something I've always, and I understand why. I mean, it is the argument. You wouldn't turn off an alarm. But they go. You've made your point.
All right, we're going to watch The Ark in that case.
Okay.
I'd like to say it's 2 episodes long.
Yeah, it isn't, is it? It's probably something like 8, 7,
No,
6.
No. You don't need to worry on that score. And you'll understand why I say that when you watch it.
Okay.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. Oh, you don't know your heart, and all this is marvellous. I mean, it means you're unworthy of the diamond logo, but so are we
I
all.
don't care. Mostly PBS ran Fourth Doctor, some Fifth Doctor, and some Third Doctor. And then occasionally you'd get a bit of Second or a bit of First. I think very rarely we got anybody later than the Fifth.
Interesting, because they really pushed it with the Sixth Doctor. That touring bus, didn't they?
Yeah, and it's possible that they did later. But this would have been, when I was watching it, it would have been early 90s.
Oh, right, okay. No, forget that then. There
Yeah,
was
so
no
it's
interest,
possible
zero
they did all that
interest.
later, like earlier.
Yeah, as 80s.
But and my PBS station, certainly when they did their drives and begged for money, we got people from the show in the studio. Often pre-recorded stuff that they'd done for sort of
I've
generic.
seen some on YouTube, yeah.
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 And they did that with a lot. They did that with Britcoms a lot and stuff like that too. But I think by then they were showing the ones that were most popular. And they had bought a chunk of them,
Understandable.
and they just rotated through them. So if you missed them, you might catch them again.
And
but
Howard
you
De
might have to
Silva
wait.
did a voiceover last time
Yeah, we saw
on
some of those
Doctor
too.
Who.
Yes. And you never knew quite, at least I never knew. It's not that there was no information. It's that I didn't have the information to know what story they were showing and how long it was going to be.
Well, that's okay, because when we were watching it, we didn't have the information to know what story
But the
was about
thing
to
was-
be shown and how long it was going to be when it was broadcast live. It's okay.
Well, the thing is, when they showed it in the middle of the afternoon, they showed 1 or 2 episodes at a time, and that was fine.
Yeah.
On Saturday nights, they'd show all of an entire story in a chunk. So the whole thing.
So.
Well, I always set the VHS because it was inevitable I was going to fall asleep at some point because they didn't even come on till like 9:30. And I was going to be asleep before the end of the story. So I didn't know how long to set the VHS for. So you'd always set it for much, much longer than you expected it to be.
Yes.
Thank you, Rosie. And extended play. Are you okay?
Yeah, my chair's got a back that goes down, but you've got a little thing that you can push in to stop it reclining. And every now and again it works its way out, and suddenly I go, ah!
That's frightening.
Oh, we love you. We love you so much, Mama.
Rosie, they love you. She says, that's very nice, and I appreciate being adored, but I would like my dinner.
So, next week we've got The Ark, we've got Once and Future with Mr. Dr. David Tennant, sir. Oh, who the TERFs are going after. Because he's standing up for trans rights, they've decided. And one of them said something that is, quite simply, libelous. The trouble is, she's got J.K. Rowling backing her. Said, "Look, I've got deep pockets. You say something, I'll pay for your defence." Good enough.
We'll see.
I just hope he takes her to court. I really do. It's disgusting. It's basically implied he was a paedophile because he supports trans people. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. And I'm very disappointed in you, Richard Ayoade. I'm sorry, but I am. And Jonathan Ross, you should know better.
Well, apparently, what with other news stories this week, he has quite enough on his plate to worry about with who he chose as his friends.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think that's going to rebound much on him. That was done. That was dusted. It's in the past. It depends what gets brought up in any inquiries or whatever. Yeah. Moving on. Now, you see, I wanted to look something up. Let me see if I can find it. Give me a second.
You hear that doggy, Rosie? You hear the doggy?
No, that's wrong.
There's much Mars stuff happening over there.
Wrong.
Oh. On the list of bad movies, I watched the Riff Tracks Miami Connection, like it's best of. And I may have to actually go buy their because it was very, very funny, and that's a terrible film.
Right. Okay. I'm going to do this the long way round. I do apologise. Oh, Green Dalek. I'm a sucker for Green Daleks. That's what I'm after. That's what I'm after.
Are they Gween?
It's a very, very pretty Dalek. Where are you, Purcell?
Rosie!
There you are. Right.
I
Sorry,
know,
I'm looking something up here. I didn't realise I was going to need to.
It's all right. While you're looking that up, I'm going to go put food in her dish so that
feel you
there's,
should.
a small chance that she'll leave us alone for 5 minutes. I'll be back.
Okay. No worries.
Come on, kitten.
Come on. There we go.
Shall we put dishes?
I'm looking for something specific, Brian. Don't worry.
That's fine. What are you looking for? Maybe I can help.
Well, I don't know what I'm looking for. That's what we're after. And I won't know until I see it, basically. We could do the Avengers. I mean, the old TV series. Beasts. Yes, I think we'll do Beasts. And a little bit of Nigel Neal.
Well, hell, why don't we just do Prey then?
I don't know what that is.
It's a single season 90s TV show about an emergent human species.
Okay. 2 seconds, please. I need to... Oh, shit. Oh, double shit. Okay, I'm going to need to talk to Adam, so it won't be Beasts next week. I need to talk to Adam first. In fact, it's going to be a while, because he's in New York.
Yes.
Yeah, he's in Manhattan.
Yep. I did sort of say you two could meet up, but...
No, we can't. I don't go down there.
Fair enough.
New York is also, relatively speaking, fairly large.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm walking here.
Yeah, he's in Manhattan. He's in New York State, but he's
in New York,
City.
New York.
Yes.
Yes. Is it so
I,
good?
however, am not.
Well, you're in New York State, aren't you?
I'm in New York State, yes.
So just New York.
Yes. I have one New York. I don't have to repeat myself.
You won. Oh, that's nice. What did you win? cider donuts?
Yeah.
Don't mind if I do. Yes, I've eaten a bit too much cake this week, I must profess. What do you do next week, Lola?
You know, it occurs to me, Halloween is coming up.
Yes, which means your gradual metamorphosis was going to happen.
Possibly, yes. But I do have a series that we could watch for Halloween.
Go on.
It's from 1987.
Go on.
Fox Network, back when they first started broadcasting.
Go on.
It stars John J. York and Lance Hendrickson, and
right.
no,
Oh,
not
sorry.
Lance Hendrickson, somebody else. He looks like him though. It also has Chuck Connors in it as the bad guy.
Don't know who that is.
It's
Anyway,
a serial.
what's it called?
It's called Werewolf.
How
from
many
1987.
episodes?
29 episodes.
Too
One
long.
season, 30 minutes apiece.
Still, that's too many. I mean, if you can pick out what you consider to be a selection of good episodes, we could watch those and review them.
Sure, it's not that long though. It's
It's either that
Okay.
or we do Police Squad.
we're not doing Police
It's
Squad.
in colour.
We're no.
Special guest star. I've got it on DVD.
It's like saying
Check
F
it on
Troop.
Blu-ray.
Quite
You
liked
know
it.
what? I'm gonna put up the intro because it piloted with a movie.
Of course it did. Most of them did.
Yeah, I'm going to share that out. It's on YouTube,
You
so
surprised
you
me.
know it's quality. And there is a funny little fact about this.
Really?
Yeah, it's never been released on DVD.
Wonder why
You
that
cannot
is.
find a legal DVD
I
copy
wonder
of
why
it.
that is.
Well, no, it's because how they recorded it. There's a particular scene that has a particular set of music in it,
Right.
Mhm.
and how they recorded it was the music